Adil, first of all, 8 years of age when you started at West Brom, and Delhi Dynamos now awaits now. What kind of a change of scenery are you expecting from where you've spent the vast majority of your footballing life?
Well, I'm from a little town called Aston, and now to be asked to go and play football in a huge city like Delhi, I think as a young lad you can only relish that. It's a sort of dream come true really to play in a big club like they are, but a growing club as well, so I can't wait.
It's obviously quite a special relationship between West Brom and Delhi as well, because speaking to a few people, there's a direct flight. There's also, a Punjabi community quite large in the area as well.
Yeah.
So does that add to the attraction for what lies ahead?
Of course, I think, I'm originally from Pakistan myself, so the connection is straight away. So, and obviously where I'm from, there's a huge Asian population. So I think I'll be basically at home there, so I can't wait for that. It'll be easy.
And you're the first current Premier League player to actually go on loan to an Indian Super League side. Does that make you feel proud that there's been a lot of big name players that have gone there, but generally towards the end of their career, you're going there when your prime is still to come?
I'm young. To go out there, to play obviously with the guys that have already played at the highest level. So as a young lad, you want to go and, gain experience from them sort of guys, speak with them, play against them. Just gain experience from them guys. Obviously Nicholas Anelka, Del Piero, our manager, Roberto Carlos. I think as a young lad, as a young player that I am, starting off with guys like that have achieved so much. I think it can only help, and hopefully more young players can go over there and experience it.
Obviously, you've been on the sort of fringes of getting a first-team chance. You mentioned Roberto Carlos being the boss for you over there. How do you think he'll differ to Tony Pulis?
Wait and see. We've got a pre-season in Sweden. I spoke to the gaffer before I went, Tony Pulis, about it won't be anything. He's harder than mine. So we've had a few jokes about that, but I want to see how it is. He's worked with top managers in the past, so hopefully them sort of ideas are into his coaching, and I can't wait to see what the difference is, to be honest.
Obviously, competition for place is very tough in the first team at West Brom, but Tony's obviously given you his blessings to go and thinks this could help you break into the first team in future.
Of course, I've spoken with him. He goes, just go out there, play. I think it's 14 games. Come back and, we see what happens. And I've told him that I want to come back and, have a firm place for selection when I come back to West Brom and see how it goes. I just got to go and score goals, play well, play week in, week out, and we see what happens.
Obviously, it could be good for your development, but also good for helping to put West Brom on the map a bit more in India, because obviously we all know that the Premier League just keeps getting bigger and bigger around the world.
Of course, and I think many countries around the world only know the top 4 clubs. No hiding away from that. I think wherever you go, they've got Man United, Man City tops, and if I can change that by little lads having, West Brom tops on with my surname on the back, I think that'll be a huge step forward for myself, for the club, West Brom, and, if I can do that, then fantastic.
Seems like it's a deal that is going to benefit everybody involved. Yeah. Just tell us a bit about how it came about and your first thoughts when you heard it was a possibility.
Well, I got a call, obviously, from my agent. He spoke to me and said that, a guy called Roberto Carlos wants to sign you, and he's adamant that he wants you across. And I think I'll be silly not to say yes to that when someone like him is calling. I spoke with the club and they said, yeah, fine. As soon as I got the go-ahead from them, it was a no-brainer, just about getting it over the line, and now we're here, so I can't wait to get out there and start playing.
Obviously, you've been doing well at West Brom, and you've been on the cusp of getting in the first team. How did Roberto Carlos know about what you've been getting on with? Does it show the scope of the Premier League, that even someone that isn't quite making the first team is on the radar?
I must be doing something right. He's obviously seen it. He wants, obviously, to take me over. And now it's my job to repay that faith in him and try and win this Super League out in India for him. So, it's an honour to have someone like that, to know my name, to know how good of a player I am, and, I repay the faith in him.
How special does it feel as well? Because we've spoken about the sort of ethnic diversity in the local area in West Brom. Does that add something to this particular opportunity?
Coming from the background I do, and the people obviously I speak with, I think it'll give much more, belief towards our community that that don't really interest themselves in football as much, but it's growing. So for this to happen now, to obviously go and play in India, obviously I can bring that up, and more and more lads will be playing football.
Have you been over to India before? Obviously, I know you're from Pakistan.
No, I haven't been, no.
Right.
So
what are you expecting?
everything, and more, to be honest. I've spoken with a few people, and they've said it's a massive city, great place, and I'm just looking forward to getting out there and experiencing it all.
The heat will be a bit different to what we're experiencing in the great
only
English summer.
I think it's only 40-something degrees out there, I think, so I'm looking forward to it. We've been out in America for pre-season, Austria, so I'll be well tuned to go out there and play straight away, so see what happens.
And obviously there's still this desire for an Asian player to really make a breakthrough in the Premier League. I guess this could be a stepping stone to you perhaps being that player.
Of course. It can only help. I know I'm ready now, but going out into India will obviously help even more to go and play them games out there, and hopefully when I come back I can be the first one to do it.
What sort of football you're expecting out there? Because obviously there are some pretty big names that are playing out there at the moment, but obviously with the heat and the fact that it's a league still in its infancy, it could be very different to the cut and thrust that we have here.
You just got to see the players that are going over, not just one or two. I think there's like 10, 20 players that are going out. I've played at the highest level and want to go out there and play, so it's not going to be an ordinary league. It's going to be a quality standard. Obviously the heat will affect that, but I think it'll be quite a good level, yeah. I've seen a few games, to be honest, and on the internet, and I've seen the standard, and it's not going to be no easy sort of level, is it? So I'm looking forward to it.
And just finally on the Premier League as a whole, I mean, it does just seem that it keeps getting bigger and bigger. More and more people are involved, and I just wonder if you mentioned some of the big names that are out there, but being someone that's playing for a Premier League team, you'll probably get just as much interest in you as some players that have maybe achieved more than you so far.
I think when people in the locals will find out I'm from the Premier League, instantly I think you gain respect. The Premier League watched over how many countries I don't know, but how many people, millions of people. So when I go out there, I'll be expected to perform to a Premier League standard. So it can only help. And
the global side of it, we're used to players from Premier League sides going on loan maybe to the Championship or other teams in Europe, but I mean now we've got to a stage where a player from the Premier League who's still young is now going on loan to India. I mean,
to me, I think it's great for myself, not just on the pitch, but off it as well. Being away from home, it can only help. I think it was easy for me to go on loan to a Championship side or a League One side and be comfortable around my own surroundings, in my home country. But I think going out there playing football with the people that are there, it can only help me as a player and off the field.
And also, you talk about off the field, but being a Premier League star who's of Asian descent, you go over there and these Indian fans are seeing someone that they can identify with that's coming from a Premier League side. That's really positive as well.
Of course, and if it helps them get a football and kick a ball around and have aspirations of becoming a footballer instead of maybe a cricketer or maybe a businessman. I think if I can help football a lot more progress in these sort of countries, that would be a positive and a great thing to do, to be honest.
And just finally, what do you think the biggest cultural change to what you're used to at the moment is going to be when you get over there?
What I've heard so far, I think it'll be just the chaos going around, just the havoc with the cars and the people. But in terms of that, Birmingham's, got everything. So I don't think it'll be much different. So it's just a matter of getting used to, loads of people around you and just getting it all in, really,
There's pretty good curries in Birmingham as well. So
there you go. So food won't be a problem. Food will be okay. I'll be right at home.
Top man. Thank you very much for that.
No worries.